Hello everyone, I'm Chris Mazzillo, Seraphson, and once again we find ourselves in a position where one of my favourite games from the PS2 era has been ported into the future. That's right, today I'm going to be talking about Disgaea, Hour of Darkness. Now Disgaea is a sort of tactical RPG in the same sort of vein as, I guess, Final Fantasy Tactics, sort of, in the sort of isometric viewpoint, turn-based combat. It's a fun little game. And the last time I played it was when it was re-released on the DS way back when, and even then I played it on the PS2 way back in like 2004, 2005 sort of time. And now the PSP version of the game has been ported to PC, allowing me to play it all over again. Because apparently this game needs like 1,000 renditions. The story of Disgaea follows Lahal, the young prince of the Netherworld, who just woke up from having a 2-year nap. Although he kind of only sort of planned on it being for 10 days. During this time, his father, who was the king of the Netherworld at the time, sort of died, and now Lahal has decided that he's the rightful heir to the throne as the overlord of the Netherworld. But during Lahal's absence, a lot of other demons have sort of decided that maybe they would want to be the overlord of the Netherworld. So Lahal sets out to kind of quell all these possibilities of other demons trying to take his position as rightful ruler of the overlord Netherworld. One of which is this sassy demon, the Dark Adonis himself, Vyers, who instantly gets called mid-boss. Mid-boss. And, well, you know, it's up to you to just beat him, and it's not too difficult now, and... shit. Anyway, it's not too difficult, you just, quickly give him the World 1-2 and beat him up. As you're looting all you can from his castle, in the heavens, in the celestial realm, there's a young angel trainee called Flon, who's just been given a quest, or a mission, which is to assassinate the current king of the Netherworld, King Francesco. And while she's got the whole sneaking thing down, she's got the sound effects, and she's silent like the night, she sadly gets a little too hung up on the old killing people, so ultimately sort of loses out and has to quickly flee into an icy zone. Lahal and the gang chase after the would-be assassin, much to Lahal's chagrin. Get it? Cause he's charged? Classic. They eventually beat Flon into a submission, and she decides to join the group because, well, she's moved to tears over Lahal's sad story about how his father is dead, his mother is dead, and she's also kind of adamant over the fact that deep down in Lahal, there may be some form of kindness. Really deep down. One of the main themes of this entire game, or at least its plot, is the idea of it's a coming-of-age story, essentially, as you follow Lahal, who starts off as an arrogant, self-centered child prince who just believes he deserves everything and sort of believes that he should be evil because that's what demons do. And you slowly see him grow and become the overlord and actually become respected by his actual vassals, and people will eventually acknowledge him as the overlord. Most of the characters around you don't see the prince as the next overlord, even once you've defeated all the other contenders to the throne and are the official overlord. Your vassals don't really acknowledge you as anything more than the prince still. So you see, Lahal slowly grow and develop through his travels, and he becomes an overlord much more akin to his father, which was one who had some sort of kindness and people looked up to and respected. There's this moment where you find out part of Lahal's past, and it's honestly one of the saddest things in the game. It's really quite upsetting, but it also opens your eyes to why he's become so jaded to the idea of love, as how, he suffered so much loss at the hands of love, so to speak, it's understandable why he feels so much disdain for the concept of love itself. But through this chapter and these actions, you slowly see him open up and slowly kind of maybe think that love's not all too bad. Eventually, the story sort of kicked into turbo gear with the introduction of Captain Gordon, Defender of Earth, and his sidekick Jennifer and the robot Thursday, who are people from the planet Earth who have set out into the Netherworld because everyone on Earth believes that the Netherworld is staging and planning an invasion of the human world. So, why not send out the scouts? But it's all not as it seems, as it turns out, well, the Netherworld's not fucking doing anything, they're just having a fun time. But suddenly, like, all these Earth ships are in the air and basically invading. And what's more, it's not just Earth people in this invasion. Part of it is also a lot of Celestians and angels. So, Lahal and his gang of angels, demons, humans, robot, they all join together and eventually try and find the source of what's happening, which takes them through to Celestia and heaven itself, where they confront those in charge, and so much is revealed. And Lahal has his final test once he is in Celestia to see if he is truly grown as a demon print. While the story is dumb and tongue-in-cheek and it's fun and it makes loads of jokes and it's not actually taking itself seriously in any way, there are so many moments in it still that make you feel so raw, and it's just really, really good. Some of the endings are amazing. In terms of gameplay, one of the major themes of the actual game in terms of mechanics is, well, you're meant to break the game and its mechanics in order to make it your way, because the game will do it against you, where you suddenly find enemies who are ridiculously strong and the odds are stacked so far against you. The only other option is to twist and turn the mechanics of the game to your favour, and it's, you know, like a demon would do. There are so many different ways where you can sort of just edit the stats and the numbers in your favour, some of which is like the item world, which is a randomly generated world for every single item that you can enter, and as you progress through the levels of this world, the stats of that item will increase, as well as various other things. And so you can easily have like really high equipment. You've also got the transmigration and reincarnation system, which allows you to start your characters from level 1 again, except for now they've got slightly improved stats based on what level you got to previously in your previous reincarnation, as well as the total number of levels you've accumulated throughout all your lives. These two things can lead to you easily like killing some of the toughest enemies in the game as a level 1 character. Just, you know, because you've abused the game. It may sound bad that the game is sort of easily abusable, but as I say, that's entirely the point of the game, because the game itself, like between levels, enemies will go from like 70 to 85 within a level, and that's quite a jump in the story, and you can find yourself easily overwhelmed if you don't keep on top of things. Back when I played when I was 10 years younger than now, I never finished the game because there was a point which was just so difficult because I hadn't put the time or wasn't thinking because I was young and dumb. And like the geo symbols, which are like map modifiers essentially, where coloured squares will have attributes attributed to them, and they can easily make things ridiculously hard, whether it be through invincibility or enemy boosting or even just taking a percentage of damage each and every turn. If you're not careful, they can easily lead to your downfall, or, at the same time, your success. Obviously, you can abuse invincibility to your favour. There are attack plus things. Like, everything is give and take. And in terms of geo symbols, in the item world, you can spend ages, like, trying to work out how to destroy, like, set a chain reaction as they all destroy each other. Because as you kill one geo symbol, it changes the square it's on, or that colour, to the colour of that symbol. I mean, you can build up these massive chain reactions which lead to a lot of rewards at the end of the level. Or they can go horrendously wrong because you just miscalculated something just a little bit, and you kind of just sit there with egg on your face. Due to the masses of extra content in this game, you have to become well accustomed to these systems, as like the level cap is 9,999, and if you view it this way, it took me, 40 hours maybe, to finish not just the base game with a few bits of side bits, I since then have added an extra 100 hours to my playtime just doing the extra bosses who are, level 6,000, level 4,000, really difficult to beat because I've got some of the best items in the fucking game. One of the other mechanics of the game is called the Dark Assembly, where you go to create characters or even ask for better equipment being sold in the shop, asking for stronger monsters to be on all the maps, or even extra dungeons or trying to loot the senators for their money. It's a weird but fun system where you can bribe all the senators to let their vote go in your favour, or if it doesn't go in your favour, well, you can just kill everyone, because that's democracy at its finest. Disgaea is a game of numbers, and if you can work with those numbers, the numbers will greatly go in your favour, but at the same time the numbers can easily go against you, as enemies can do hundreds or thousands of damage, and you yourself can do 300,000 damage, but the enemies you're against have 3 million HP and you've only got 500,000 HP. Things escalate and ramp up rapidly if you put the time in to do the extra bits of grinding here and there for that extra content. And if you can, abuse the system, fucking go for it, because the game does it anyway. It's surprising at how easily engrossed you can become in the systems, as I didn't intend on putting an extra 100 hours into the game, but I put an extra 120 hours into the game by accident. Because I never really finished the game back when I played it in my youth, I never really got that far into it, so I never really put that much time into Disgaea before. But now, I put far too much time. But at the same time, because it's on the PC, and it's just so much fun, I desperately hope that maybe they'll bring out some of the other Disgaea games onto the PC, like Disgaea 2, which I remember being a lot of fun and improves on the mechanics, or Disgaea 3, 4, and 5, which came out on consoles I don't own. I just would love to be able to play more of these Disgaea games on PC, so hopefully we see more of them in the future, because I really like those games. Also, the game crashes really frequently on PC.